You get more out of life when you go out to a movie.
Show starts in 4 minutes.
Visit our snack bar and treat yourself to some delicious Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches. Cook the Castleberry way, slowly over open pits of glowing charcoal, then seasoned with a sauce that's zesty, yet delightfully mild to please the entire family. Also at the snack bar, you'll find popcorn and soft drinks and candy and French fries to go with your Castleberry's barbecue sandwiches. There's plenty of time before the movie starts, so visit our snack bar right now for Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches.
Still plenty of time to come and be served at the refreshment center before showtime.
Show starts in 3 minutes. Show starts in 2 minutes.
Your attention, please. All new Hotshot electric in-car heaters have been installed for your comfort and convenience. Just insert heater through car window and turn on the switch. When leaving, please turn switch off and replace on speaker post. Warning, high voltage. For your own safety, do not attempt to repair or remove wires. Do not attempt to open heater unit. If you need assistance, please notify the theater box office or concession manager.
Show starts in 1 minute.
Please remember to replace the speaker on the post when you leave the theater.
I had my mic turned off this whole time. I used to stream with my daughter for Gold Star Gamers, we were called. And we used to say that if if something doesn't go wrong during your stream, you're not a real streamer. So I guess tonight I'm a real streamer. So I'm drinking my chocolate milk in a wine glass. And tonight, I guess we're going to go over this again. If you are watching this on your phone, you will see a little thing scrolling on the top for the other channels that I'm broadcasting on tonight, Twitch and YouTube. If you're not catching me on TikTok, you can catch me there. So, I should put my TikTok one up too. I figure if you're watching on your phone, you're probably watching on TikTok. I'll fix it later. Anyway, tonight is Horror Movie 101. Horror Movie 101, folks, are the movies that you should be watching. If you're a horror movie fan and you haven't seen these movies, I feel like you're not a real fan yet. Okay, so these are your foundational movies. We're talking Dracula, 1931. We're talking Nosferatu. We're talking foundational horror is dedicated for tonight. So tonight's movie is going to be 1968's George Romero classic, Night of the Living Dead. So I do hope you guys enjoy this and some junk. I know I will. So let's get down to it. Movie time. I love the music, man. I love the cheesy music. Night of the Living Dead. Print my movie lab. I have, wow, this is so, I never realize how low budget this is even for the 60s. This movie costs like $10 and a stick of gum. Not that I'm hating on it. This is the longest opening. Did I forget how long this opening is? I've seen this movie like, I watch it at least once a year around Halloween, so.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to blow Sunday on a scene like this? You know, I figure we're either going to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, darn it, she can. Is there any other candy left?
That was a weird statement.
No.
Look at this thing. We still remember. I don't. You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
Johnny, it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200 miles into the country and she stays at
Wait,
home.
I can't
Well,
tell if
we're
I
here,
can
John,
hear if
all
you
right?
guys can hear me. Learn technology.
We're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problems.
There's nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
You moved my mouse, sorry. There, that's better.
Well, there's no one around.
Well, it's late.
Thank you, Manny.
Oh, look, I already lost an hour's sleep on the time change.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little spit and polish. You can clean this up.
Mm-hmm.
Sell it next year.
Yeah,
Look at
sure.
how many times we bought the same one.
He sure is a complaining one, isn't he?
Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh?
Cue thunder.
Hey, I mean praying's for church, huh? Come on.
Why
I
did
haven't
he even
seen
come?
you in church lately.
Why he even
Well,
come?
There's not much sense in my going to church.
I swear, some people.
Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind a tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boys, you'll be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. He's gonna say it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
He said it.
You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
Yeah, literally.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. Johnny! No! No! Not Johnny! No! Take his glasses. R.I.P. Johnny. Run, girl, run! Fall, girl, fall! Johnny had the keys. No, no. Wow. That's a smart zombie. Good thing they parked on that hill. Run! Run! I'm so proud of her for running. I really am. You know what I'm thinking? Because this takes place in the 60s. She done ripped them stockings all to shreds. You know she's wearing stockings. Because my grandmother never would have let me out of the house without stockings if I was wearing a dress. Oh, sorry. That was me. I forget. My ear buds mess with things if I move them on my ears. Animal heads! Dang. You know, he moves fast for an ambling zombie. Get that girl an Oscar, yo. Y'all, jeez. Gets me every time. Hey, it's our boy.
It's all right. Don't worry about him. I can handle him. Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us. Truck is out of gas. This pump on here is locked. Is there a key?
She don't know nothing.
We can try to get out of here if we can get some gas. Is there a key? I suppose you've tried this.
No, she hasn't. Oh, wait, she did. She did. Very dramatically.
Do you live here?
Well, she's useless.
We've got to get out of here. We have to get to where there's some other people. Maybe we better take some food. I'll see if I can find some food.
Man.
What's happening?
How do you think it's happening?
What's happening?
Two of them. There are two of them out there. Have you seen any more around here? I can take care of those two.
I
Look,
don't
I know you're afraid, but we have
I don't know! I don't know! What's happening?
You know what this soundtrack reminds me of? Star Trek. Hey Ben, go get your girl. And now you're surrounded. Heavens to Betsy.
I know we're in here now.
Mm-hmm. They really do, though.
Don't look at it.
I mean, looking at it ain't gonna make it come back to life. Welp.
Get some more lights on in this house. Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some board, something there by the fireplace, something we can nail this place up.
Poor thing.
Look, goddamn.
She ain't there, man.
Look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right.
Wake up, girl.
We'll be all right here until someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay?
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. She looked like all she heard was wah 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 wah. This is for the vampires. Since we're dealing with zombies now. If trauma had a face,
Not that strong. Yeah, I want you to pick out some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find.
boarding up the house.
Yeah, this room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors. Won't be long for those things be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now.
My house. Beep, beep, beep.
They're afraid of fire. I found that out. You know a place back down the road called Beekman's? Beekman's Diner?
Never heard of it.
Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have out there. There's a radio in the truck. I jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped moving. By now, it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Still hear the man screaming. This thing is just backing away from it. I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of light left except by now there were no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there, staring at me.
You know what I just realized? She ain't said a word in like...
I just plowed right through them. They didn't move, they didn't run, or just stood there, staring at me. Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
Like,
we were riding in the cemetery. Johnny and me. Johnny.
poor Barbara.
We came to put a wreath on my father's grave.
Huh?
Johnny.
That was your mother's
and
grave.
He said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And oh, it's hot in here.
I think Barbara's cheese has slid off her cracker. Which is unfortunate because we're very early in this movie.
And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said, I'm not afraid, Johnny. And
I'm
then
not
this
afraid.
man started walking up the road. He came slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me and saying, he's coming to get you, Barbara. And I laughed at him and said, Johnny, stop it.
You didn't laugh, but okay.
And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up, and I said, Goody. And he grabbed me. He grabbed me, and he ripped at me. He held me, and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh,
Nah.
I screamed, Johnny!
Nah.
Johnny, help me! Oh,
She's not okay.
And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny didn't come.
Yo. Can we talk about
Johnny.
Can we talk about how unreliable the testimony that whole thing is? Half of that stuff didn't happen. She has lost her mind.
And get him. We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him.
Go for it.
Please, we have got to go get Johnny. Please.
Ain't nobody stopping you.
Please.
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone.
Your brother is dead.
No, my brother is not dead.
Sorry. Oh, that's so 60s. So 60s.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins.
Oh boy.
The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason for the slayings. It seems to be a sudden, general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins. Eyewitnesses say they are ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Others describe them as being
zombies. Zombies. They're coming to get through Barbara.
So, at this point, there is no really authentic way for us to say who or what to look for and guard yourself against. Misshapen monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have been unable to determine that any kind of organized investigation is yet underway. Police, sheriff deputies, and emergency ambulances are literally deluged with calls for help. The scene can best be described as mayhem. Mayors of Pittsburgh,
He going to work.
Miami, along with the governors of several eastern and midwestern states, have indicated the next.
I swear, they should have survived this movie.
But that has not happened as yet. The only advice our reporters have been able to get from official sources is for private citizens to stay in their homes behind locked doors. Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis has been determined and until we can advise what course of action to take. Keep listening to radio and TV for any special instructions as this crisis develops further. Thousands of office and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment. not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to reach their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you are.
You know? Yeah. Burning couch. That ought to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word that the President has called a meeting of his cabinet to deal with the sudden epidemic of murder which has seized the eastern third of this nation. The meeting is scheduled to convene within the hour. Members of the presidential cabinet will be joined by officials of the FBI and joint meetings behind closed doors.
You know, I have a question. Do we ever, I don't think we ever find out, like, what he does for a living, because he just, he seems like battle ready to me.
Will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. The extent of this latest meeting.
The basement.
Facilities in an emergency network to bring you this news as it develops. We urge you to stay tuned to
Is she
radio
wearing a
and TV
scarf?
and to
No,
stay
it's not here.
indoors
My bad.
at all costs. Late reports reaching this newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge in churches, schools, and government buildings, demanding shelter and protection from the wholesale murder which apparently is engulfing much of the nation. Law enforcement officials are at a loss to explain or even a desire, even to theorize about the reasons for this wave of murder. So far, they have to give the public is Chief T.K. Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina, who's quoted as saying, quote, "Tell the people for God's sake to get off the streets. Tell them to go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here."
Murder happy characters.
Camden, North Carolina. So far, the only descriptions, the only clues anyone has of the killers come from frightened witnesses of some of the slaves. These eyewitness accounts very much describe the murderers as ordinary-looking people, misshapen monsters, people who look like they're in a trance, and things that look like people but act like animals. Some eyewitnesses tell of seeing victims who look as though they had been torn apart. This whole ghastly story began developing 2 days ago with the report of the slaying of a family of 7 in their rural home near Gulfport.
Hey, we got a pew pew.
In a reign of terror which has
Now we're cooking with gas.
Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like
I found a gun and some bullets out there.
It was only late yesterday
Oh, and
when
these.
it became clear we were facing some kind of national emergency.
Yep.
When first reports began filtering in, newsmen and law enforcement agencies were of the opinion
This
that
place is boarded up pretty solid now.
in nature. However, as these
We ought to be all right here for a while.
dramatically, it was soon apparent that
We have
this
a
was
gun
something
and
more than the
bullets.
usual run of lawlessness.
Food and the radio.
Oh, there's food.
Pure kind of conspiracy.
Sooner or later, someone
Things as
bound to come and get us out.
Yeah, sure.
space. So again, we join with law enforcement agencies, urging you to seek shelter in a building. Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Precautions of any suspicious strangers. And keep tuned to radio and television for survival instructions and further details.
She is gone.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me,
Goes on in the
No.
but I'm going upstairs now.
It's almost as though some critical balance of
If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down to take care of it.
savage killers. We repeat, this radio station.
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay? Okay.
Dateline on this report is Cumberland Herald. Civil defense officials officials in Cumberland have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been
She's not with
partially
us anymore. Oh, wow. This was a woman.
Consistent reports from witnesses to the effect that people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the flesh of the people they kill.
That is a really old radio, even for 1968.
More ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you. Reports which have been verified as completely as is possible in this confused situation. It is happening.
Oh,
It would
no.
appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass murder.
We're from town. A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff has verified.
How come you what? What do you mean a radio? You in the basement, man?
How long you guys been down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How are we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody
No.
knows somebody ever needed help.
It's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there. We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
No, we didn't care. No.
If there were more, the racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now, wait a minute. You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from down there. Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would
They
be
don't care,
nice
man.
to get your story straight, man.
All right, now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
There's one in every ragtag group of zombie people.
We came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Yeah, most of it. All but a few spots upstairs. They won't be hard to fix.
You're insane. The cellar's the safest place.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now you tell me those things can't get through this lousy pile of wood?
Yeah.
His wife and kids downstairs. Kids hurt.
Well, I still think we're better off up here.
We could strengthen everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we can fix this place up in no time. We have everything we need up here.
We can take all that up downstairs with us. Man, you're really crazy. You know that? You got 1 million windows up here. All these windows, you're gonna make them strong enough to keep these things out, huh?
I told you those things don't have.
Why are you doubting
I
that?
smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
Oh, hell, any good 5 men can do that.
That's my point. Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. There's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if there are that many, they'll probably get us wherever we are.
You don't want to be in the cellar.
The cellar. The cellar.
No,
there's
that's a
only
bad
one door,
idea.
Right? Just one door, that's all we have to protect. Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next. You got a point, Mr. Cooper. But down in the cellar, there's no place to run to. I mean, if they did get in, there'd be no back exit. We'd be done for.
Mm-hmm.
We can get out of here if we have to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside. But down there with no windows, if a rescue party did come, we wouldn't even know it.
No windows.
The strongest place.
The cellar's a death trap.
The cellar's a death trap.
I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
I don't know. maybe 6 or 7.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar, and you better decide. Because I'm going to board up that door, and I'm not going to unlock it again no matter what happens. Now, wait a minute.
Well.
No, I'm not going to wait. I made my decision, now you make yours. Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least consider this a while.
Why is there always one guy like that in the
Box
group?
yourself in the cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it. At least up here you have a fighting chance.
Hey, at least 3 more.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
There's more than there were. There are a lot out back, too.
Yeah! Ah! Do. Patty cake! Patty cake! He just wanted to play patty cake.
Harry? Harry, what's happening?
It's all right.
Patty cake, Baker's bang! The head. Thank you. Remember, folks, zombies. The head.
We gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be at every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in that damn cellar. Get out of here!
I know, go on then.
I'm taking the girl with me.
Leave her here. Keep your hands off
She's
her. And
she's
everything else is
traumatized.
Up here too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane. We've got to have food down there. We've
I don't
got
know.
to wait.
I don't know how
We've
that's
got to
racist, but
wait.
it's racist. I don't know
You go
how,
down there
but it's
with him.
racist.
Well,
Yes or no, this is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly. I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid. Their old man is so stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
Yeah,
You bastards.
that's not what you wanted to say.
You know, I won't open this door again. I mean, Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could... With my help?
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here, honey. You're gonna let them get hurt too, huh? It's all right, honey. Go ahead.
I mean, they ain't got no food down there.
Together, man. We can
They ain't got no running water down there.
There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better off. All three of us were working together.
Hey,
Especially since she been gone since she got here. She's not here anymore.
he's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there.
On the air day and night.
Well, we're safe now. It's boarded up tight.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there and let them.
You married him.
There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard the screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
Let them stay upstairs. Let them. Too many ways those monsters can get in up there. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
She meant what she said. She said what she said.
Does anyone up there know why we're being attacked?
Whatever it isn't just happening here. It's some kind of mass murder. It's going on everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and
There's a radio?
down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
Nothing. Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us so they tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon?
I said, I need to be right. Listen, woman.
We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
Miss Cooper! Miss Cooper, they found a television set upstairs.
Let's go up. Tom?
Yeah.
If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Okay, yeah, right away.
Will you do it?
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's going to get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Too much compromising.
Okay, open up.
I'm telling you, I'd have picked up my kid and I'd have left. You want to stay down here, you can stay down here. I have seen this before, so maybe that wouldn't have been a great idea either. Actually, no, that'd be a good idea. Because when things go wrong with the kid, there's at least, like, 4 other people that can handle it.
She's all I have.
She's all
Why
I
don't you
have.
go upstairs now?
Her brother was killed.
Cuckoo.
Hey, what do you have with this thing?
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
She gone.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
Who's Harry?
Here. Give me one of those.
Her brother was killed.
Why are we staring at her, though? That seems a little ableist.
And they talk about these windows. I can't see a damn thing. There could be 15 million of those things out there. That's how much good these windows are.
First, you can't see out the windows. Then you can't see out the windows.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Here I have it. Drag a couple of those chairs together.
There's a socket over here. Now, you better watch this and try to understand what's going on. I don't want anyone's life on my hands.
Is there anything I can do to
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister.
I know, that's
if you
right.
stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's
Yeah.
on, it's on. There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
Reports, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this? Shut up.
I know.
All parts of the country.
Shut up.
The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted, and medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you.
I'm liking my
This is
own
the
live.
latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been
I
established
didn't realize I
that
could do
persons
that.
who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed. We're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you and make your way to that location as soon as possible.
So we have that truck. If we can get some gas, we can get out of here.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know, that's why I pulled in here, but it's locked.
Emergency meeting called this afternoon by the President. Since convening this conference of the Presidential Cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA has not produced any public information. Why are space experts being consulted about an Earth-bound emergency? So far, all the betting on the answer to that question centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus. That satellite, you'll recall, started back to Earth, but never got here. That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it. Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering?
It's always
Newsman
radiation.
Don Quinn in Washington has posed those questions.
It's obvious our best move is to try to get out of here.
How are you going to get over to that pump?
At the White House.
Look.
You're coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
Yes, that was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection. A definite connection.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute.
It's
I'm
always
not sure
radiation.
That's certain at all. I don't think that has
The
been
only logical
irrefutably
explanation
true.
that we have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen.
Seems to
I
be.
must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
Everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between
Definite connection as far as Dr. Keller and myself.
Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite when the satellite was exploded?
Unusual amount of radiation, enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Will there be a reply for the
Later.
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon.
Perhaps there will be a report of
Later.
Wow.
We have everything possible to solve
The news report's this chaotic.
Try to get out of here.
Back in the day, I don't know.
Stations of doctors and medical supplies. If we could get Karen there, we could get help for her.
is one of the world's foremost authorities on space science and technology.
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming. And Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead. Then these other people came. We went down into the basement and put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong. How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and the place is surrounded with these.
Hey, that's sexist as all hell.
Your entire staff, I know, has been...
How are we gonna get out of here? We got
find some solution
just
to...
2 women and one of them's crazy.
Do you have any answers at this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let
Hey,
me
Joy.
stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injury.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Good advice, Doctor. Now, how about the basic
Well,
Look, you go down there and tell... Now, Judy? Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
Venus probe. In the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver. Cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move.
They want you upstairs.
I hate when that happens.
Did she ask for me?
She hasn't done anything.
I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy.
I heard. I'll come back down as soon as I find out what they want.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any
Oh,
arrangements.
you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The
No.
bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give.
Question.
They're just dead flesh.
In 1968, did houses just have gasoline just randomly in their houses?
Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
Oh, I guess they would because lawnmowers.
Cocktails and hold them out while we try to escape.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles.
There's a big key ring down there. Or maybe a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave the door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. It better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck, no sweat.
You're it, then. You and I will go.
Aha! A plan.
We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board it up because we'll have to get back in quickly.
I wouldn't leave him in there.
Get back into the house.
I wouldn't leave his squirrely behind in here. I would not leave his squirrely behind in here. No. He would have to come with me. He would have to, because I don't trust that he's going to open that door. He would have to come with me.
always have a smile for me. How can you smile like that all the time?
Mm. Dumb as a box of hair.
Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, are you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded
Been
message.
dead.
If I could only call the folks. They're going to be so worried about us.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know. Tom? Are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
Yeah.
Well, the television said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
But why do you have to go out there?
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
How do you know that?
Safe in here.
For how long?
Did he say that?
We're safe now.
How do you know that?
But there's going to be more and more of those things.
I know all that.
Hey, listen. Remember when we had the big flood? Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave? Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey. It's not like just a wind passing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
We've got to do something.
That's all.
Hey, Smiley. Where's that big smile for me?
Where's that big smile for me?
Boy, you're sure I'm going to use it all, are you? We've got work to do, honey. And you...
If this ain't a death flag, I don't know what is. Hey, Sheikah, what's up? We are watching Night of the Living Dead, the original.
We better get her downstairs.
We have to go downstairs now, Barbara.
We have to go downstairs now, Barbara.
Downstairs now, just for a little while until we get back. Then we can all
Just until we get back, Barbara.
Have to leave. Yes.
Yeah, every Wednesday is going to be a classic horror movie. Horror 101 is what Wednesdays are going to be. Barbara was annoying. Yes. But she doesn't have many lines. She spends most of the time doing this.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So. There's no way I would leave the problem child there. It's the mistake that everybody makes is there's always one problem child in the ragtag group of survivors. I would not leave the problem child.
You ready upstairs? Yeah. Okay, toss
You wasn't ready. He said toss him. You were not ready.
Go ahead, go on.
Hurry!
I'm going with her.
Get back in the cellar. It's too late.
Why? And now you're trapped. And now you're trapped. I'm so sorry, you guys. I just keep hearing Star Trek. I can't unhear it.
Come on! This key won't work. What's it? What's the torch?
Wow.
Gotta get away from the pump.
This is a disaster.
Hang on.
And they just took off. And they just took off.
Get out of here. Come on, come on.
My jacket's gone.
Well, that could have gone better. Run, Ben, run! Do, 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 do. Of course. Of course. He's not gonna let you back in. Now he's gotta kick the door in. I swear I hate Cooper. That dude's a punk ass, bitch ass, punk ass, bitch ass, punk. Yes! One more time. Kick him! Do it again! One more time!
Drag you out there and feed you those things.
You know, I feel like that should happen more often in zombie films. The problem child should get his clock cleaned more often. Yeah, huh? I'd have appreciated that personally. Close your eyes, kitties. They're having roasted ham for dinner. Like literally. That's ham, guys. Fun fact. That's what they used. Ham and chocolate syrup. So TikTok, don't take me down. It's not real. It's ham and chocolate syrup. You know, the worst movie I've ever seen, Manos Hand of Fate. I have never heard of that one. Manos Hand of Fate. It's his horror movie. Okay, but you say worst movie you've ever seen. Are we talking Room bad? Excuse me. Where it's so bad it's kind of funny? Or are we talking Showgirls bad?
Another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
Where it's bad and kind of funny?
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait. We can leave. Oh, we better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
Barbara has not been present for this entire thing.
Is Wood the nearest town?
I don't know. We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
You say those things.
No other movie can compare
You
it
think we can
to?
get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Okay, now I gotta watch it.
Far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
You're gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid. What's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
One of those things grabbed her.
Bit her on the arm.
What's wrong?
Who knows what kind of disease those things carry? Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
I'm sorry, it's on Mystery Science Theater 3000, so it must be
You're gonna
amazing.
turn it over by yourself?
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
Good Lord.
Good Lord. They're eating ham. Chocolate syrup. That's how I found it when I watched it.
Being monitored closely by scientists at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation remains, government spokesmen warn that dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating ghouls. All persons who die during this crisis, from whatever cause,
While on desert
come back to
excursion, the
life,
family
seek
encounters
human
cultists who
victims
use human
unless their
hands as
bodies are first
sacrificial
disposed of by
offerings to their
cremation.
gods.
Our news cameras have
That
just
sounds
returned
amazing.
from covering such a search and destroy operation against the ghouls. This one conducted by Sheriff Conan McClellan in Butler County, Pennsylvania. So now let's go to that film report. All law enforcement agencies and the military have been organized to search out and destroy the marauding ghouls. The Survival Command Center at the Pentagon has disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot
Yes.
in the head or a heavy blow to the skull. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
Anything from the supply wagon, cuz? No, we're all right.
It's on a whole other level.
Put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again. All right, Chief
I would
Rapone,
love-
how's everything going? Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are
Hold
taking
on a
it pretty
second.
Good.
Just gonna pause it real quick. I would love to do a bad movie night one of these nights. We'll see though, because I've got this set up and I've got it's primetime Twitch, which is Friday night set up. So we'll see.
You want to get on the other side of the road over there? Chief, do you think we'll be able to defeat these things? Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in there. There wasn't no. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them
Something
down.
about this feels... I don't like the way he's talking.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things,
Giving
would
me
I stand a chance
racial
with them?
trauma.
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy. Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control? Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them. Are they slow-moving, Chief? Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up. Well,
all messed up.
Would you say you ought to be able to wrap this up in 24 hours? Well, we don't really know. We know we'll be into it most of the night, probably into the early morning. We're working our way toward Willard, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view. Thank you very much, Chief McClellan. This is Bill Cardill, WIC TV 11 News.
Thank you, Bill, for that report. Official spokesman declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off all the flesh eaters, so long as the heavy rain...
The power's out! The power's out! The power's out!
Is the fuse box in the cellar?
I don't know.
Anybody gonna go down the cellar?
The fuse. The power lines are down. Helen, I have to get that gun.
Why?
You've had enough. But 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window, kid.
I know it's not intentional, guys. But it feels... You know? I don't even understand the logic of going for the gun. I don't understand the logic of going for the gun at this point. Is he standing there thinking to himself, if I could just be the gun, then I could be the hero. I can be the hero. See, this is what happens when you don't feed that guy to the monsters. This is what happens. Yeah, no, that's appropriate. He just wanted to be the big man. Telling him what to do made him mad. Yeah. Yeah. He had an attitude this whole movie. This whole movie from his first scene. He had an attitude. Like, how dare he tell me what to do? I think this might be my favorite part of the whole movie. I think this might be my favorite part of this whole movie. How many are down? Just the guy and the girl. Oh, she woke up. Okay, she's awake. Yay! Thanks for showing up, Barbara. Yeah. Nope. She's having Dad for dinner. I love the tradition of child zombies in the George Romero movies. This, the Dawn of the Dead remake, they did that twice. With a spade, do you know how hard it is to somebody with a spade? Pum, pum, pum. Johnny, no! He's coming to get you, Barbara! Bye, Barbara. Bye, girl. Bye, girl, bye. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, because he got bitten, sort of. Bet you enjoyed that. You know, this counts as a really bad day, I think. I was just saying earlier that we never did find out what Ben did for a living, because Ben came on the scene like ready to survive, like boarding up windows, looking for supplies, making torches, Molotov cocktails. He was ready to survive. you know. Unlike any of the other characters. Was he military, maybe? I always thought he worked at the funeral home. Perhaps wouldn't really explain how ready he was, you know?
Hey, Vince, Al, you want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out.
Irritates you, don't it?
Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Something about it. Just
One of the volunteers, you're doing all the work, you take it.
Thank you. We should be wrapped up here about
Because it's
3 or 4 more
closed.
hours.
Interesting.
We'll probably get into Willard's End. I guess you can go over there and meet the National Guard. Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Well, Bill, let's check in the office, see what's happening. All right, Steve, tell them we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
I think there's ever a job where you think about the dead come back to life is working at a funeral home. Yeah. Personally, I don't know how funeral home directors and morticians do the job, quite frankly, because, well, but then again, I have necrophobia, so, yeah. I'd never be caught in the same room with a dead body. On purpose, anyway.
They need you down there by the barn.
Every time he talk, man, he just
I only need a few men to check out the house.
some ancestrally just kind of cringes, you know.
Look out here, Vince. Yeah, sure looks like it, Doc.
Like I can hear the ER in the way he talks. You know what I'm saying? Like I can hear that R and ER. He said it a few times. It took me 20 years to see this ending. It is a bummer. It's so much of a bummer that the remake tried to fix it, and it was still a bummer. I honestly thought he made it, yeah.
Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire?
Bonfire. Oh, Ben, we hardly knew ye.
You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire. Nothing down here? All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house. There's something there. I heard a noise. All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes.
Boo!
Good shot. Okay, he's dead.
Boo!
Another one for the fire.
Boo! You know, it's funny too that George Romero was not trying to make any kind of radical statement or anything involving civil rights, and he messed around and made a statement involving it because all of us of a certain hue understood. This is a microaggression, exactly. Okay. Absolutely. Exactly. This is a microaggression. I know. What I wonder, because this is Horror Movie 101, is this whole segment for me is about exploring these classic movies, right? So that's the thing that I always wonder is, with a movie like this, at the time that it came out, did it do well at the box office? I feel like, because I know it's low budget horror, and it broke a lot of ground for a lot of reasons. But I wonder if, because it came out in 1968, when the country was like really up in arms and stuff, I do wonder if that helped considerably. Boo! Boo! Yes, boo! But thanks to this movie, folks, we have so many other films that came from this. Ones that I actually wish I could show on here. I don't know. I don't know what you can and can't do with these sort of things. I chose this one because it was public domain and I knew we wouldn't get in trouble with it. So, I know. Boo! So, but if you have never seen, like, okay, so I have often said that my thing with zombie movies is that I've seen so many of them. Like, at one point, it occurred to me that I think of all of the genres of horror movies that I've seen, I think zombie movies might be the most. I think I've seen the most out of all of them, which is crazy because I'm necrophobic and I can't handle zombie stuff in a series because it'll depress me. What is the first horror movie where a black person survived? Survived? I can tell you which one was the first one. The black person was the first person to die. But survived. That's a tough one because it depends on what we're talking about here. If we're talking all horror, all right, if we're talking like horror noir, for example, like, boy, that's a tough one. See, I want to go back to the 60s for that one. I have to. Like, I can tell you the first one I remember, but it wasn't in the 60s at all. It was, the first one I recall in my lifetime was Friday the 13th, 4 or 5, possibly 6. The little kid from Different Strokes lived. But yeah, if we're talking like of all time, I couldn't say. It would have to be one of the one. It would have to be one from the 60s. And even then, even now, because I'm sitting here running through my mind all of the horror movies that had black folks in it, like the blaxploitation movies and whatever. A lot of them bit it too. Okay, Dream Warriors. Okay, but wait, which was first? That Friday the 13th or Dream Warriors? Because, like, is that a Googleable fact? Which one was first? I'm going to ask Google. Hey, Google, what is the first horror movie wherein a black person survived? Okay. Okay. So Google says, no, that doesn't, that's like the first horror movie ever. That doesn't count. I'm not sure. Okay, now see, now I can only think of two Nightmare on Elm Streets and Friday the 13th. The Friday the 13th that I'm thinking of was one, it was during the era when it was one of the three movies that they had the Tommy character that was first played by Corey Feldman. In one of those movies, the kid that played Dudley on The Different Strokes was in the movie. And he ended up living to the end because it was during a time when children were not often in horror movies. Jason Goes to the Bronx. That wasn't, no, Jason Goes to New York. I was about to say, that's not one. Okay. You know my favorite scene in Jason Goes to New York where he bops the head off of the one guy. Dudley from Different Strokes. Shavar Ross is the guy's name. Yeah, Shavar Ross. It was the best part of the movie. It really was. Come on, put him up. It's great. It's awesome. Yeah, but that was fun, you guys. I like to take this time after watching movies to kind of chit chat with y'all a little bit. I just got to watching Shudder. You know, I have Shudder. I have a Shudder subscription because of course I do, and they just put the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead on there, which is the one horror movie I have seen so many times I could probably quote, and I have quoted many times. Are they dead? Well, dead-ish. Are they dead? Well, they're dead in the terms that they fell down and then they got back up again and then they started eating each other. Okay. I love Land of the Dead. I've only seen Land of the Dead once. That's the one with the smart zombies where they were getting smarter. Yeah. There was another of the Dead with like Batista, right? That came out recently. Well, John Leguizamo, listen, can we talk about John Leguizamo for a minute? He's awesome in everything he does. He really is. He's awesome in everything he does. He got my, well, somewhere between Spawn and To Wong Fu, he got my respect. Okay. Just for the fact that he was basically squatting down in that costume as the clown for the whole movie. It's hurting my knees right now just thinking about it. Even in the menu. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Even in the menu. John Leguizamo, one of my favorite actors of all time, by far. Yeah, I think Spawn was so awesome. It was. I think, you know what? I wanted to watch it recently. And unfortunately, I was looking for it. I couldn't find. I haven't been able to find it. Oh man, I might be. Every now and then it pops up, like for a minute. It's usually around the time, like around this time when big superhero movies are out and stuff like that. But only for a minute, and I usually miss it. And then when I want to watch it, it's not there. I wanted to own it for years, but I can never freaking find it. It's very upsetting. It's one of those movies that I've always wanted to watch with my kids because it kind of kicked off the whole big tentpole movies that are now common now. And trying to explain to my children what a phenomenon Spawn was. Like my oldest child was around during that time, but she was little. She was in kindergarten when all of that was happening. So I don't think she has any real memory of it. But yeah, it was like Todd McFarlane's art was everywhere. It was in at least 2 music videos that I am aware of. Yeah, 2 music videos. He like designed the cover of Korn's album, and he animated Freak on a Leash, part of Freak on a Leash. He did animation for Pearl Jam's Evolution. Like, he was kind of all over the place. I want Spawn to be remade. I don't know if I want that. There was supposed to be a sequel and it never happened. It was supposed to feature Angela. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want it. I'm not sure. I think people mad at Black Man ended it with a white man. Probably. Something was interesting too. When the black wife ended it with the white man. Yeah. Yeah, and I know they were because so the thing that everybody was saying out loud was that it wasn't what they usually say, that wasn't like that in the original source material. Why do I want to say his name was Al? Was his name Al? I feel like his name was Al. Something like that. The Spawn character in life, his buddy that ends up with his wife, was black in the source material. And they changed him to a white dude. I don't know why. It was unnecessary. My thought about it then was that I think that people, and this is going to sound terrible, but I think that the reason why they did that was because they were afraid people would mix up the 2 characters. And you know what I'm talking about. You can be mad at me about it all you want, but listen, there was just a whole drama on this here app about a dude that got mixed up with 2 other black dudes. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm really saying. That's all I can say on these socials. But yeah, that is my opinion. I think that's why they did it. That is the reason why it happened that way, which is unfortunate. That movie, it actually was, for a lot of reasons. Like, I think that was one of the first big uses of CGI, for one thing. Another, we're talking about a black superhero that doesn't have lightning powers. That wasn't the 2 or 3 that everybody knows. That it really brought a story to the forefront that a lot of people didn't know about. It really, I think it kicked open the doors for a lot of things, and they messed around and got Martin Sheen in the movie, which is a trip. I think Martin Sheen volunteered to be in that movie personally. I don't know. I never looked up the behind the scenes of Spawn. Actually, now that we're talking about it, I really would like to. Yeah, his power was from heck. His powers were from heck. And I would have loved, so the HBO animated series was more in depth on that. And if they had done like a movie series, I would have loved to have seen them go into depth about the whole power thing. Like, about the fact that he's on a timer. They never mentioned it in the movie, but he's on a timer. He can only do the Spawn thing for so long. Every time he does it, he loses a little bit of power, which is, yeah, it's, I don't know how I feel about a remake, though. I don't. It would really have to be, one of those things where it was done by a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like the movies that are remade like this, Yeah, it should have been rated R. Yeah. The movies that are done like this, that are done by fans, that people who enjoy the source material, they make better movies. They do. They make better movies because they know the things that made them great, you know. And it would have to be somebody in the know. It would have to be somebody in the know. It's really that simple. If they just get some random person to do it, then I'm not in. Exactly, like Lord of the Rings. Exactly. There are so many movies that, like, every time you find a filmmaker who, it's almost like it's the same thing really as Kendrick Lamar. You know, you have to be a part of the culture, basically. If you love that thing, you will treat it with care. You know, you will treat it with the reverence it deserves, and you will make a great movie. It's only when they just get a random person, or they just get a person who read a Wikipedia article and ran with that. I'm not naming any names, any personal nemesises that I might have or anything. But it's only when it's someone who doesn't really understand what made it great that it's you know. Yeah. Yeah. It guy can kiss my butt. What a big F. But yeah, you know, that reminds me too. And this is like the last thing I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna have to sign off here soon because I really have to pee. The new trailer for Borderlands has just come out, and so of my nemesis that are walking the earth right now, other than M. Night, my other nemesis, I wouldn't even technically call him a nemesis, okay? Because I feel like, I don't know, he has F-boy energy. Eli Roth has F-boy energy, you know. I have not enjoyed any of his movies, and I can always tell when it's one of his movies, because I feel like, I'm not going to get on a rant about that right now. I'm not going to get on a rant. He is directing Borderlands, and I noticed that I heard about this years ago, and I realized one day recently, like, hey, whatever happened to that? I haven't heard anybody promoting it. That's weird. And then, like, today, I think they released the trailer. I haven't watched the trailer, but put it this way. I love the games a whole lot. My youngest daughter loved the games a whole lot. And, like, we both loved the Borderlands games a whole lot. And someone texted my daughter and said, I just watched the trailer. My condolences. I'm like, oh, it's not even good. The only one is Death Proof. Did he direct Death Proof, though? I know he was in it. Did he direct it? Because that would be the exception to the rule. Like, I'm all for exceptions, okay? The Sixth Sense was a great movie. I'm not afraid to admit that. But if he directed it, I am. Let me double check that. Who directed it? Oh, it's Quentin. Of course it was. Yeah, was it him and Tarantino? Okay, so the Grindhouse movies were Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, I believe. I don't know that Eli Roth had anything to do directorial. He's in It's been years since I've seen Planet Terror, though. I couldn't tell you if he's in that, but he's definitely in Death Proof for some reason. Don't ask me why. Him and Tarantino are buds, and that should surprise no one. Actually, that should tell you everything you need to know about Eli Roth. Okay, if we want to talk about F-boy energy. But yeah, I am not sure about that. I would have to dig deeper to find that out. Yeah, Death Proof. Definitely one of my favorite movies, like, ever. I wish I could show that one on Horror 101, but I can't. Let's wrap this up, folks. Next week, and I have this, I have this written down because I actually planned for once. I planned so hard that I forgot what next week's movie is, and now I'm looking it up. Do not judge me. What can I tell you? Okay, so next week's movie is House on Haunted Hill, the original. Also later this week on Friday, I'll be doing this again for I'll be doing next week Friday. This week Friday. I'll be doing this again. It won't be Horror 101. It's going to be called it's Primetime Twitch because I'm also streaming on Twitch, and we will be doing a thing. You'll have to watch to find out because I'm not sure if I can pull it off. But if I can, it's going to be fun. Trust me. And yes, Tarantino has a weird thing with feet. I have stories. My late son-in-law was a filmmaker. He knew things. So that's for another time. Until then, folks, thank you for joining me tonight for tonight's movie. I hope you guys come check this out on Friday. And also for Horror Movie Book Club on Saturday. I don't remember the book that the movie that we're supposed to be discussing. We're discussing Humane, which didn't like it, but it is definitely a movie I want to talk about. So join me then. Thank you for the rose, Sheikah, and thank you for everybody who joined me tonight. This has been fun.